Thank you very much, Tucker. If you've made a New Year's resolution to spend some time away from your smartphone or your iPad or your iPod, you're not alone. Disconnecting from technology is becoming increasingly popular. This morning we are joined by Professor Bradley Shear of George Washington University. Mr. Shear is a lawyer with experience in social media law and other things as well. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me today.
We're keying this off of an article that was in the New York Times this past weekend, which talked about a variety of things. For example, hotels and other vacation destinations kind of offering packages to people based on the fact that you will not be able to get on the internet, your cell phone won't work here, and it appeals to some people who want to break away from that. Are you surprised by that?
Actually, not at all, because the fact is today people are way too connected these days. Everyone is taking a look at all their Facebook posts, they're taking a look at tweets, status updates, and people are really focusing too much on that instead of actually enjoying life and living life to the fullest.
You know, Tucker and I talk about this amongst ourselves sometimes. I completely agree. It seems like people now are not really enjoying the moment that they're in. They're more interested in tweeting about it or photographing it than really living it these days. Why has it gone that way?
Because it can go that way. Everyone's connected. For example, I have a cell phone. I use it all the time, and I'm always, my wife is always saying, you know what, at the dinner table, it's time to put the cell phone down, focus on the family, and those types of issues. Because we can use this technology on a regular basis, people are actually becoming too dependent upon it.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm just tweeting about this right now. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, it is rather crazy, and we're connected like this. Is it dangerous at all in your view? I know you're not a psychologist, but is it dangerous?
Of course, it's very unhealthy in some respects because, for example, while you're driving, I mean, granted, some states have laws on the books that say, you know what, you shouldn't be using your cell phone, but I've seen people get into automobile accidents because they were taking a look at their phone. And also walking across the street. Way too many times I've seen people taking a look at their cell phone. You should be focusing on what's going on around you instead of what's going on in the virtual world.
For people who do themselves feel like, okay, maybe I am a little too connected, or maybe I'm not sure if I am or not, what are some of the recommendations that you have?
Definitely set some boundaries. For example, as I said earlier, make sure, for example, at the dinner table, you don't have your cell phone right there. Also, if you're out with your kids, at the playground, do not utilize your cell phone while you're actually...
I see that all the time. You're supposed to be watching your kid on the playground, they're doing some texting or something like that.
Exactly. Live life to the fullest. Watch your children. Enjoy it.
And I guess some of this advice would also stand for parents who are trying to manage their children and in terms of their involvement with social media and the like as well.
Exactly. As far as that goes, you definitely want to make sure that your kids are, or if they are connected, if they do have a cell phone or if they have a Facebook account, make sure that it's all in moderation. That's key. I mean, I've had clients before that tell me that they've utilized some of the technologies and they've actually had to just step away from it all because they've had to deal with too many instances of interactions with their fans. And once they've actually stepped away, then they've actually gotten their life back because they realize it's better to live life today and not everything that goes on in the virtual world always matters. You've
had some dealings with athletes that you have been involved with in terms of managing or providing law services to, and you find that with some of them. You say be mindful of your response time to social media messages. What do you mean by that?
For example, if someone sends you a status update, you see a status update or someone sends you, for example, a direct message on Twitter, you don't always have to respond back right away. Sometimes it's best to think about your response before you actually give it because it's not always the best thing to do is give an off-the-cuff response. Think before you post, think before you tweet.
All right, think before you tweet. I like that. I'm going to tweet that right now. I don't even know how to tweet. Thank you very much, Bradley. Is it Shear or Shears?
Shear.
Shear. Good to have you here. Please come back sometime. George Washington University. We appreciate it. Allison, back.